So we all love and enjoy Papa John's Trophy game. Well, not really, but it's a Sunderland match and it's a way of breaking up the week. There's not much to look forward to in these times, and watching Sunderland play should be an enjoyable experience. Not always, but sometimes it should be. But tonight played Port Vale at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland won the match 2-0. It was pretty comfortable, and if you watched the game, you probably felt that Sunderland kind of cruised through a few hairy moments, a few potential penalties for Port Vale. Well, one potential penalty for Port Vale later on. They had a couple of half chances, but overall it was a comfortable evening. I kind of laid out four things I wanted to see from the game. I wrote these down before the match started, and they were, how would Max Power fare at right back again? Will Elliot Embleton show a little bit more promise? He's a player that I really like, but I feel like he's not quite been performing at the levels we'd expect this season. Will there be positive signs for Aidan O'Brien? And will Dan Neil, will he look the part? Will he look like a player we can rely on rather than loaning out? So we'll kind of go through the game initially first, but then sort of touch on them four talking points I put down. So 6th minute, Sunderland probably should have had a penalty. Elliot Embleton was brought down, deemed to be the edge of the box. Looked like it was slightly in for me, but it was a free kick. Didn't make anything of it. We then took the lead through Aidan O'Brien in the 21st minute. It was a good ball, well, good play from Sunderland. Then Lyndon Gooch fed him through kind of down the left side of the penalty area, and O'Brien finished at the bottom corner. It was a good finish and something we haven't seen from Aidan O'Brien since he's signed for Sunderland. Hit the bar in the 30th minute through Elliot Embleton. Can't remember that now, but I have it written down, so I'm going to presume it did happen. And then, second half, 96th minute, Jack Diamond was in one-on-one. He was brought down by the keeper. Substituted McGeady, rounded off, made it 2-0. So that was the game. The questions that I'd said at the start. Max Power at right back. Well, I thought he did well at right back today. I know it's a League Two opposition. Everything that's said here is prefaced with, obviously, this is not against a League One side. But I thought Power did pretty well at right back. Certainly first half, he was quite involved in the game. He looked good going forward. Defensively, he looks fine as well. And he's quite physical, good in the air. And I thought I see a lot better from him at the minute playing that right back position. Whether or not, that's because he's not feeling that confident. So he feels better kind of not being in the middle of the park. I'm not sure. Or if he feels like, if he makes a mistake at right back, maybe it's not as detrimental as making one in the midfield. But I thought he did well today, and if Max Power at right back is that a long term answer to a problem? Potentially yes. I would personally think that Lugo Nine's actually better probably playing in what Max Power's position has been, which has been box to box central midfield. I think Lugo Nine's probably better suited for that, and Max Power might well be better suited to play right back, certainly for the minute. So either way, it's an option. Lee Johnson will have, it's something that Phil Parkinson nor Jack Ross ever tried. I know Power's played there early in his career, but we've always relied on Power being a central midfielder. Moving in at right back could be, a stroke of genius from Lee Johnson if it pays off down the line. So I thought that was a tick. Second one I had on there, the tick off was Elliot Embleton. Was he shown promise? I thought he looked okay. First half I thought he was particularly good. I still, his set pieces weren't great this evening. I also think that he isn't putting his authority on the game. I think he's a very, very good player, but I think he's still finding his feet after basically not playing for a year prior to this season. I think you could do with the running games. I think that's how you really judge Elliot Embleton is you give him 5 or 6 straight games and see what he can do. But I thought tonight he looked okay. He certainly didn't look worse than any of our other midfield options. So if I'm Lee Johnson, I would probably think, well, I'll give him a go. I wouldn't be surprised if he was left in the team going forward. So I thought Embleton was it a full tick. Did he take the game by the scruff of the neck? Maybe not, but I thought he was perfectly fine. And I think he's done enough to earn himself a place in the team going forward. Aidan O'Brien, he was a big one. I've been quite critical of him on the channel on Roker Report. I feel like he's been a disappointing sign. I was quite looking forward to bringing him in because he played in the Championship and Millwall fans were quite a big fan, but since he's came in, he's been a massive letdown. Tonight, though, completely different to what I've seen so far. Running the channels quite well. His goal was really, really well taken. He held the ball up, brought players into the game. I thought he was exactly what we've been lacking going forward so far this season, and I thought he played really, really well. I was very, very impressed. And now I'm thinking, well, we've actually got another option up there. We've got something that I didn't think we had, because I felt O'Brien was quite similar. He was like a hybrid of Grigg and Wyke, in the sense that he wasn't he just looked ineffective. So I thought today was the first time we've seen the player that we thought we were getting. So hopefully that gives him a little bit of confidence. The goal will do him an absolute world of good. Nothing worse, join a new football club and you struggle to score. He's finally got off the mark. Yes, it's in the Papa John's trophy. But it's a big goal. I think he might have scored earlier in the season and won the cup competitions. But hopefully this is the start of something, going forward for him. The other question I had on there was Dan Neil and whether or not he looked ready for the first team. 45 minutes he picked up an injury, but I thought he looked good. I was reasonably impressed with him. I thought he looks like he's on a similar level to Embleton. I would probably say maybe a slight notch below, just in terms of composure. There was a couple of times I saw him in centre midfield maybe play a pass. He shouldn't have, like a hospital pass. But other than that, I thought Dan Neil looked really, really good. I like him. I like him every time I see him play. So, is he a player that we should look at for the rest of the season? Well, why not? I mean, I know a loan move would be good for him if he was playing every week, if you can guarantee that. But I also think he can help us out. Help us out on our short-term goals and, become a. For me, Lee Johnson needs to look at this whole squad right now and work out which players are going to be here for next season. The presumption from Sunderland Football Club right now, in my opinion, should not be that we're going to get promoted this year. It should be that, obviously, hope for promotion, but the planning should be for another year in League One and making sure there's systems implemented and that we're playing in the right way. Dan Neil, if you give him, from now to the end of the season, 15, 10 starts, and maybe 10 substitute appearances, he will slowly integrate into the team and you'll give him much needed minutes. And I don't see the point in giving game time to players who you might think, maybe not here next season, if you've got a young player like Dan Neil who can do just as good of a job. That's the frustrating thing with Sunderland's Academy as well. We've seen a lot of these young players get thrown in and it's almost like they have to go above and beyond to prove that they're ready for the first team, whereas a player that we've signed just immediately is presumed that they're good enough for the first team, and it feels like it takes a lot for our younger players to break in, but hopefully that changes. At that point I would probably sort of sign off with on this video would be that I think we missed Denver Hume. I know he's a player that sort of splits opinion in a lot of ways, and I understand that he can be very wasteful, but I think we miss his presence on the left side. I think he's integral to the way we attack, and getting him back into the fray will be pretty important for us. Him and Luke 9 are probably going to be two players that I suspect fit better into the Lee Johnson style of football than most of the players we've got in that squad. So having them two back will be massive, and I presume that they're only going to be a few weeks away. Hopefully see them before the end of the month. But we'll start to see the squad taking shape at that point, hopefully. But tonight, it was what it was. It was a 2-0 win. We're through to the next round of the Papa John's trophy. As a side note, it'd be interesting to know whether or not you guys think that will you be upset if we got to the final and you couldn't go? Because that's kind of what I've been thinking about. Like, wouldn't like to see Sunderland win at Wembley and me not be there, but that's just me being selfish. Obviously, you want Sunderland to win every game, but I can't help that little thing in the back of my head saying I would be really annoyed because I wouldn't be able to go to the final. So thanks for watching today's video. Nice win, nice positive result, and hopefully it'll be a building block for a better few weeks.